Hello, today we're going to be talking about some preparation for the Diamond Strings Block of the Month quilt along that we're going to be doing. And this is a photo of the quilt, and it is based on a foundation piecing. So we're going to do a couple different methods of those. And some of the prep work that you'll need to do is to choose a foundation. So I'm going to go over a couple different foundations that you may decide to use. The one that I'm going to use, and it's kind of fun to work with, this is a used dryer sheet. We're going to be needing 24 pieces of a 9x6 foundation, and dryer sheets are pretty close to that. They're a little bit over 9 inches, a little bit over 6 inches, but they can easily be trimmed down, and they're very flexible to work with. The key is that they are used, and go ahead and just press them real good after they come out of the dryer, and the stuff that they're treated with has been, removed through the drying process. And you've got a great, thin, flexible piece of foundation to use. So that's one option. And with this option, you can leave it in the project. It would stay in the quilt, and as well as some of the other ones I'm going to talk about here. The next one is a interfacing. So any kind of sew-in interfacing, as long as it does not have any kind of fusible on it, that's also a great choice because it would stay inside the quilt. It's not heavy. It won't, add any weight or anything to your project. Other items that you might have are some embroidery stabilizer. That would be cutaways or leave-in. They would not be easy to tear. So I'm trying to tear this relatively hard, and it is not. It is a leave-in cutaway. You can see it's a thinner interfacing or stabilizer, but that's a good option. As well as this is a heavier cutaway, and these are both made with polyester fibers, so just be careful if you choose to use these, as the setting on your iron may need to be changed to polyester. I tend to leave mine at the highest setting when I'm pressing my cotton fabrics, but if you do have a stabilizer like this that has a little polyester in it, you may want to adjust the heat just so you're not melting this or causing any problems with your iron. And lastly, you could choose a muslin fabric, just a lightweight fabric that you can easily stitch on top of. And again, these would all be left inside your project. Once you've sewn your strips onto them, they would just continue to be that way. Another type of foundations that you could use are tearaway or removable foundations. And those would be most commonly a paper. And this paper here is a newsprint paper. It is much lighter weight than a copy paper, so be careful if you're choosing to use a copy paper. It will be harder to tear. Again, this is newsprint paper, and it tears really nicely. I do change the stitch length on my machine to a shorter one, and that causes tighter little stitches that would create perforation and holes in there, so you could easily tear it away. But you would have to remove all the paper from the back of your block if you chose to use a removable foundation. Other forms of this would be telephone book pages. They're made out of that newsprint, real thin paper, and this telephone book looks to be about the size that we're going to be needing. These would make great foundations to leave, to sew on your strips with, but it would be removed when you are finished. And lastly, you could use a tearaway. So this stabilizer, embroidery stabilizer, tears very easily, and so this you would also have to remove when you have stitched your pieces onto it. So these are some options for a foundation, and you'll want to pick one of these to do the center portion of our quilt, which will be these blocks here.